Hey, Angela here. We've had some recent questions about shipping settings, particularly with Shopify's new shipping setting options. So I just wanted to make a quick video for some of you guys that will help clear this up, when this would be useful and when this wouldn't. So here's the deal. Shopify now allows shipping profiles, which is kind of cool. But in playing around with it, the only useful application that I can possibly think of is to use this for the scenario that you have some items that are really, really heavy to ship. And you want to make sure that you charge more for those. So what you would do, I was playing around with it, and so I just had done leggings. Also, I don't have any heavy items in my store anyways, so this kind of worked. But imagine that you had heavy items. What you would do is create a new profile. You would change this to heavy items, and you have to pick product by product which items you want to show up in this profile. So you can't just choose an entire collection, unfortunately. You have to pick each product, which means it's one thing to go back and so I could see this being used for shoes. A lot of clients want to charge more for shipping shoes or home goods, particularly. There might be other things. There could be food too that would be heavier than usual. But whatever it is, you have to go in and pick every single product. And going back and picking all the products that you already have could sound like tedious, but that's a one-time thing, right? So it's not a huge deal if you can sit down or have an employee sit down and do it. The other issue though is that going forward, whenever you add an item that should be in here, it has to be part of the product upload process. So whoever, if it's you or an employee or whatever, who uploads the product, if it qualifies as a heavy item, then you're going to need to go to this shipping profile and let me show you. Say this was the heavy item one, you would do manage rates, and you would need to add that new product in every time. Otherwise that one won't catch the roll, right? Okay, so that's one issue, but it could still be helpful. Then what you're able to do is manage rates specifically. So again, pretend this was heavy items, not leggings. And then you would add your own rates, and you can add, US rates and international if that applies to you. And you do need to add, because if otherwise, say that you start this profile, but you never add an actual rate, then first you create a shipping zone, which you're going to create US for sure, and then possibly another zone if you want to do international. But say you go in here and you don't create a zone, or you create a zone but you don't create a rate, then when somebody tries to check out with something here, they just won't see when it gets to the shipping part, it'll give them this little error box that says there are no shipping options for you, and then they won't be able to proceed. They won't be able to check out. So you need to make sure that once you create the profile, you add the shipping zone and the rate. Okay, so I have flat rate leggings here. So, because in this fake scenario, what I'm saying is, okay, if they only order leggings, we're only going to charge them $3 versus our $5 normal flat rate. So that works. But here's the issue. And then let me show you. So when you look on here, you can see you have your leggings or heavy products if that's what you set up. And then you have your general profile, which is all products not in other profiles. So you don't have to worry about once you put something in a profile, it's not going to also be in general for your normal rates. The only issue is, and this does work, I tested it out just to make sure, if somebody adds leggings to their cart, it only shows that rate that I put here, the $3 shipping leggings, $3 legging shipping. Anyway, if they put something else in their cart and don't put any leggings, then it shows them my normal rates, which right now I have set in here at $5 flat rate. But the issue is if they add an item from here and an item from here, what it actually does is it adds them. So here I have both. it actually adds the rates together. So now it's $8. So that said, I still think it would be a useful application for heavy items or shoes or that kind of thing. Because then so say it's shoes, if they check out with shoes, it's going to charge them the higher rate, whatever you set here. If they choose shoes and a top, it's going to add those two shipping rates together. So it's going to cost more because they're adding the shoes, which I think is fine, but you just need to understand exactly how that works to decide if this is right for you. The other thing to consider, if you offer any type of pickup or free over a certain amount, there's a couple things you want to know. One, if you can keep your rate names the same, so this was called flat rate leggings. The other one was just called flat rate. Because those names were different, Shopify just put shipping here because it didn't know it didn't know which one to use. I did not mean to do that. Hold on. But if I had put flat rate on both, like the exact same title, then this would have said flat rate. It'll use the title that it can and combine them if they're the same. So if you also want to offer free over 75, make sure that you have that free over 75 on both profiles. If it should be on both profiles. I mean, if you don't want to offer free over 75, if they get the heavy item, then that's fine. But otherwise, make sure you have it in both profiles and that it's named the same. And then same if you offer pickup, make sure that it's named the same as far as the rate goes and that it's on both profiles. So this can get a little tricky to set up, but it's doable. Let's see. There was one more thing I wanted to say here. Hold on one second. The other issue is if you are using some sort of a pickup app, then this whole thing needs to be tested and made sure that it works for you if you're wanting to do this. Because the pickup app that we normally recommend to clients, for those that use it, most don't, but some do, it has you create very specific shipping rate options in order to work. It's just part of the app's backend. And so I would assume that those shipping settings need to be on all the profiles in order to work correctly. And then even then, hopefully that doesn't cause any issues with the app. Because the thing is that apps are generally built considering how Shopify works now. Now as in like when that app developer built that app. Now, a good app that's really popular and, has continued to keep itself updated would be aware of changes within Shopify and would make sure that their app still works even with those changes. But not all apps are updated as often as they should be or that sort of thing. Things change all the time in tech. My point is, if you're using that app, using these special shipping profiles should work for you just fine as long as the rules of which shipping settings and rates to set up to basically make the app work correctly, as long as those shipping settings are applied to every single profile. But it would need to be tested. So I haven't had a client that needed that yet. But that might be irrelevant to you if you're not using a pickup app anyways. So I hope this explains to you the intricacies of this shipping profile option and how that works. And again, the only real solid application that I can think of for you ladies is if you want to charge additional for really heavy items, and whether they're shoes, home decor, maybe foodstuffs, like heavier foodstuffs, like if you're selling like barbecue sauces or something random, then this would make sense. But as far as trying to have different rates for every collection, it's not going to work because customers are going to put items from whatever collection they want, right, in the cart, and then it's going to add all of those together, and that's not what you want. So anyway, hope this answers your questions about what's possible with the shipping profiles. let us know how we can help what you're wanting and needing.